Hello and welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa Hemming, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you would get me. I'm so excited for you to hear this conversation with Amy. This one blew me away. And I talk about this within the podcast, but if I waited for this to be perfect, I would never get podcasts out, right? I do things very imperfectly. I just actually made a post today, which today is July 21st, but you're not going to be hearing this July 21st. You're going to be hearing this, I'm not sure when, I think July 28th. But on July 21st, I made a post about this podcast and about how nothing is edited here. I say things off the cuff. Betty barks. I am recording in my dining room. So last week I recorded something. My son came down and made food during it. Like, that is not ideal to me. I like quiet. But my point is that if you wait for things to be perfect, oftentimes you're going to be waiting for a long time. So embrace imperfection and move yourself forward. And the reason I'm saying that is because what I do when I invite podcast hosts is if I'm inspired by someone online, if you're plugging away at your journey, if you happen to come in my algorithm and I see you and I get to cheer you on, oftentimes I'll ask you, hey, do you want to come share your story on my podcast? And Amy is no different. I have been inspired by her on Instagram. She is a running warrior. And so I asked her to come on. And it wasn't until the day of the podcast recording, I checked out her Instagram just to sort of catch myself up with what she had been up to. So in case I needed to ask a question or had something to ask about, I could see what she was up to. And I see that she is an author. I had no fucking idea. So that was amazing to hear about her books and how she's evolved. And it ended up being the best conversation about running and pivoting careers and following your heart and, channeling grief from a breakup into the most beautiful, transformative story. So I think you're going to love this episode. I know I did. And we ended up talking about mental health and so many important things. Here we go. Imperfection. So I know you're going to be so excited to hear this episode. I wanted to remind you of a couple things. I still have my giveaway happening. There is still time to enter the giveaway for the It's Your Effin' Journey breakthrough round starting August 18th. If you go to my pinned Instagram post, you'll see the one that has the 10K followers. That's the one to enter. Make sure you enter to get a free spot in this group coming in August. This is my 3-week sort of intro to journaling group coaching course. I can't wait to work with you in there. The link is in the show notes if you want to join this round. It's 3 weeks for a fucking breakthrough. Really your breakthrough. Whatever, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like you haven't given yourself a lot of love, this is for you. I can't wait to help you move yourself forward. And believe it or not, you can do that with the power of journaling and with the accountability of some amazing people. So join us August 18th. We start. Link in the bio to join. Link in the bio to enter the 10K giveaway. I think I said that ends August 1st. So you still got some time to join there. Another thing is exclusive content. Every single month I produce sounds really formal. I create 2 bonus episodes in the contest, in the podcast. It helps to support the podcast, which I appreciate the people in there so much. And it gives you a behind the scenes look into the episodes and also my own life. So I know there's some people that are like, what is going on? What is happening? All that stuff is in the bonus content. It's $10 a month to support the podcast. As I said, you get 2 bonus episodes within any given month. And I appreciate the people in there. As I said, I appreciate anybody who supports the podcast in any way that you do it. Listening, sharing with a friend, sharing in your social media, tagging me in an Instagram story, all of the above. I thank you so much because I don't do any formal ads in here. So just word of mouth is how we get around to other people. And I could not be more grateful for the people who do that. So without further ado, what time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. Let's go to Amy. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. This is so exciting.
Hi. Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, thank you for coming. And I'm glad that we got to work it out with the time difference. It's always a challenge. Like, what time difference are we doing? You have
Hmm.
such an incredible story. Like, I don't even know where does it begin? Like, what came first, the
Yeah,
chicken or the egg? Because you do so much. What
yeah. I
did
guess
running start it all for you?
a breakup started it all. So in 2015, I broke up with my boyfriend. It came as like a shock to me. It shouldn't have, but I was blindsided and I was really devastated. And I was sitting alone, crying in the house on Saturday nights,
Oh,
just in the bathtub in the dark. It was a very sad year, and I got sick and tired of feeling sad. And running kind of was the outgrowth of that breakup. I had always sort of worked out, but usually in the gym. And for whatever reason, in that year, I decided to just start jogging outside as far as I could, which was not much. Couldn't even run a mile, but I got kind of addicted to it and ran a 5K at some point, and I was hooked. It was really invigorating. It was slower than what I am today, but something about it made me want to continue and come back and try harder and keep working at it. And then 10 years later, very
wow.
obsessive runner. So yeah, it was the breakup is what came first. That's really what
Wow.
propelled the career life I have today. It was going through a period of trauma and heartbreak.
Yeah. So did you always have a desire to be a runner, or did you have runners around you like in your life?
No, not at all. It was really out of the blue. I did run track in high school, but I was a sprinter, so I ran the 100 meter. It's a 12-second
Yeah.
race, and I didn't even carry it into college. It was just something. I had some friends on the team that talked me into trying out or just going out for the team, and yeah, so I'd run the 4x1 relay and the 100 meter, and I threw discus, and yeah, I was not even so compelled by it. I was very much not good at it. So yeah, didn't even run in college, and yeah, never ran again basically. And so this was a real kind of came out of the blue sort of situation. I've always been a rollerblader, and I like cycling, but I hated running. It was a really cool way to teach me that we can change things about ourselves and we can do hard things and struggle is okay. That's kind of why I got
Yes.
into it, is because it was not something I was historically programmed to do.
Yeah. So you're a cycler too. So do you do triathlons?
I don't. I have ear problems, and so the swimming is
Oh
what
yeah.
gets difficult for me. But I like duathlons, so biking and running. I just yeah, haven't become the swimmer yet. Maybe someday. I found some really good earplugs. They're called Max, and they actually do seem to help keep the water out of my ears in a way that works. So someday it's possible, but yeah, at this point, just biking and running.
That's amazing though. And duathlons, like they seem so much more fun. And I don't know if you have this where you live, but I've heard here that they have one that's kayak, then cycle, then run. And I'm like, I would do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Kayak, cycle run, rollerblade, cycle run,
Yeah.
do about anything else, cycle run. That's very, very cool. I think that's
Yeah.
fun, like
Because
on
I
the
don't
third
like the
activity or
swimming
the eighth
either. I
activity.
don't like swimming.
Yeah. I don't know if
Like
this is true, but
leisurely
I've
swimming, I
recently heard.
do.
Yeah, yeah. Like swimming in a resort pool is one thing, but yeah, I think swimming on a river or an ocean for an Ironman is another. Someone told me that swimming is like everybody's worst event, almost everybody's, and
Yeah.
it's just really like a big barrier to entry. It's like the reason why more people don't do Ironmans, and in general, yeah, like if you're a strong swimmer, that's where you really get differentiated because most people are very mediocre to average to not very good. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess a lot of people don't like the swimming for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's
Go figure.
interesting. I did like a tiny try once that was really, really fun because it was so short and the
Uh,
biking was in the woods, which was fun. I don't love road
that's
biking
amazing.
either. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That sounds very cool that you could like have such a like a scenic event and yeah, like a small
Yes.
scale event. So yeah, rock on. That's cool.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like it's fun when they set things up like that that you can try in a I guess easier environment. I hate to say easy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the ones in the gym too. They have those in the gym where you do it in like the lot the pool and then on the treadmill and on the bike. Like that's much more less
Yeah.
transitions. But anyways, so tell me about how your journey with running transformed because now you are rocking it. I don't know how you race often. Like you're always running.
Yeah. I had a boss at the time that all of this was going on, with my breakup, who told me that, yeah, like struggle is good and it's supposed to be hard and we can change things about ourselves and whether we think we can or think we can't, either way, we're right. And I really wanted to test all of that. And so I probably became very obsessive because as I experimented from that first 5K to then the 10K to the half to the full, I was proving these statements right. And I actually had a fixed mindset my entire life where I didn't think struggle was good. I kind of would gravitate towards the games or the pursuits in life that I knew I was good at. And the ones that I wasn't, it would be kind of like, oh, that's just not for me. I feel uncomfortable doing that. That's just not who I am. And so,
Yeah.
becoming a runner and saying, like, wow, I can do a half marathon. I did do a full marathon. It really, because it was the way that I taught myself that all those statements are true about belief and mindset and choices, and struggle, I just had to keep with it. And so it got, very much in my blood. I joined a run club. And I think this is true of anything. If you get around a group of people, that are doing something and doing it well, they are good influences. I think it's the Jack Canfield, it's the chicken noodle soup for the soul guy that
Yes.
had that concept of the average of five. You are the five people that you hang out with most. And so, once I was in a run club, it was like, okay, these people are bad influences or good influences, depending on how you look at it. They're going to races, they train like almost every day, they're having fun with it. They're all very positive people. They drink beer after they run. I can definitely get on board with that. Because I found a community, I was constantly getting invited to running events, and then it was really easy to sort of stick with it. So I guess there's a couple of lessons there, but yeah, if you want to do anything at a high level, it's like go find the people that are doing it and follow them and join them,
Yeah.
and then you get kind of hooked. But yeah, it was really addictive to prove to myself that, yeah, people can change and struggle's okay, and we can do hard things. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it just became, 10 years later, it became, my biggest hobby. It's probably like one of my biggest identifiers of who I am. It is a runner. Yeah, and it just felt really good to me. And so I just did it more and more. And yeah, now it's a little over 250 half marathons. It's my favorite distance. I
Ah,
love the half.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
So
a
that's
great
your
distance.
favorite distance.
Yeah, it's like long enough to be hard and like give you, like a really good push because, I do think that things that push us and that we struggle with are the things that grow us. But it's not so long that like you can't walk off the course and go get brunch and have a day
Yeah.
afterwards. I think the full marathon really like shuts down people's lives, for good reason. So yeah, the half feels like that perfect sweet spot, for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that became the thing, running half marathons.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
I love what you said about the people because I find myself every time I even just going to a race and talking to other runners, I feel like that philosophy of putting yourself, making yourself a small fish in a big pond makes such a huge difference because no matter what your goal is or what you're focusing on, you go around runners and there's always someone doing the craziest shit you could ever imagine. And you're like, I'm not that crazy because they're crazier, like and it helps you to grow. It helps you to be like, oh, okay, well, if that person's doing that, I can do anything, right? Like because they're doing
Love it.
anything. There's no limits.
Yeah, I so agree with this and resonate with this. I think when I started running, I thought that like the coup de grace was the marathon, and
Yeah.
then you join groups or you go to like an event and talk to people, and people are doing 50 milers, 100 milers, 100Ks, full Ironmans. Like, it's like what 140.6, like. Oh, okay. I didn't even know what an Ironman was when I started running. I didn't know there were 100-mile events or beyond, like Death Valley kind of stuff. And people are out there doing it, ultras, trail running. And so you sort of get like inspired because you're like, well, gosh, if they can do that, then I could probably do this. But yeah,
Yes.
it reminds you that like the bar is always higher for somebody else, and yeah, it's like you kind of don't get complacent. You're sort of like, wow, oh, there's like a whole world of people doing really impressive stuff. I'm not that special, which in some ways is
Yeah.
kind of nice to say, like, oh, I'm doing something that's special to me. But in the grand scheme of things, like, oh, people are doing a lot more. Okay, like, well, maybe something bigger would be possible for me too. It's like it's
Yeah.
how we expand our thinking. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
love
And
meeting people at events like that and
it's
getting like a
nice
little
to be
overwhelmed by some of the
it
stats.
can
It's
be
like, oh, okay.
overwhelming, right? And it can be a mind fuck too, because if you well, and this is something that and this is sort of why this podcast came to be, because you have to figure out what's
Yes.
right for
Yeah.
you around all of the noise, right? So it's really easy to get yourself in those situations like maybe what I'm doing isn't meaningful enough because these people are doing these other things. And I know, like, I was with ultra runners last weekend, and sort of saying to myself, well, how am I celebrating this goal of trail running when these people are running 100-mile races, and not getting into that mindset of this isn't as important because they're doing this big badass thing. It's like learning to trust yourself and stay in your own lane in terms of your goals. I'm so sorry. I'm back.
That's
I'm
okay.
back. Oh, and it
Yay.
just it just
I sent you some
reconnected.
messages.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
sorry.
I was like,
Um,
I'll just stay here because she might be able to like splice it together or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, I'll just put it all together.
Cool.
Um,
Okay, great.
so I don't know where
The last thing I
what
heard you say is it's such a mind fuck, or it
oh,
can be overwhelming and it's a mind fuck, and then that was when you disappeared. So
okay.
I don't know if
So
you
I
want to
was
pick up from that,
saying,
but that was the last thing I heard you say.
yeah, I was saying that the mind fuck can be getting in your head about what other people's goals are versus what your own are. And I know and I don't know if you've experienced this 10 years into the journey, but I have to constantly remind myself when I see people, doing these 50Ks and 100 miles. And I say to myself, is this something that you want to do? And when I get real with myself, I'm like, no, I have never had a desire to do more than a marathon. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to cheer on everyone doing whatever they're doing. But for me, that's where it stops, at least for now. And, so I have to constantly check in with myself. And also, just because I don't want to do more than a marathon doesn't mean that what I'm accomplishing isn't cool too, you know? So it's that sort of
Yeah.
mind game, you know, that
Yeah.
staying in your own lane, right?
Yeah, this is like such a great topic for all of life. I feel like we do this to each other periodically as humans. Like we get excited about like the path we're on, and we just feel like it's so great, and it must be the only one or the best one. And we start advising other people, like, "Oh, you should
Yes.
totally do this." And I think the "should" word is a little scary when we start shoulding other people, like, "You should do this, you shouldn't do that." It's really up to them to chart their own journey and course. And I guess it's probably people have good intentions when they do this because they just get excited and they want other people to follow suit and like have that experience too. It is probably up to each of us to say, I don't want to do that. I don't think that would bring me joy. I'm not sure that would serve me. But what can I glean from what you're saying? Like, what was it that made you so happy about it? Or what's like the real learning or message
Yes.
here? Oh, you pushed yourself, you challenged yourself, like you got outside, you like, aha, okay, you found something that like you were passionate about, you knew what your why was. Okay, like with my things, like how do I do that instead of, oh, it has to be the same thing? Because
Well,
obviously we all have very different
running.
talents and skills and
Like, I
interests.
mean, I'm sure you feel like that about running just like I do. Like,
Yeah.
in my heart, I know running isn't for everyone, but when you've been
Yeah.
so touched by it and it's changed your life, you're like,
Yeah.
but did you try? Maybe try it again. You know,
Yeah.
like, are you sure?
Right. Why don't you just check it out? Come to the 5K and see. I do think the way I've messaged it, because so many people have probably gotten frustrated at hearing things like that, is like find whatever the running is for you. Like maybe it's
Yes.
painting or scrapbooking or piano or art or poetry. I don't know. But like find your running, like that thing that
Yes.
just like lights you up inside and brings you joy. And like time goes super fast when you're doing it and you just feel like you're home. Like whatever that is, like don't quit until you find it and have that. I think where I do probably pass judgment is where people are like, I don't have anything like that for me.
Yeah.
I've got kids and I'm like busy at work and I don't have time for that. And I feel like everybody needs something that like lights them up and brings them
For
joy and
sure.
that people
Yeah.
can make the time for it. So that probably is where I get perspective of like find whatever that thing is, but
What?
don't say there's nothing. Like life's gonna go quick and you're gonna wish you had something that like
Yeah.
made you feel peace and whatnot. So
And
yeah, it is
I
interesting.
love that like getting curious about the things that fire other people up, because I feel
Yeah.
like as runners we are so misunderstood from, like my extended family,
Yeah.
other friends, like they just don't get it. And I think if and this is for everyone in life, right? You just say to that person, what is it that is so exciting about it to you? Or why is it so meaningful to you? Or why do you prioritize this over other things, or so many hours, or so much effort? And I think that's so nice to hear from someone, right? Like just that someone cares enough to understand what makes you tick.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I like what you say about how we're very misunderstood. I was just driving to the San Diego Rock and Roll half marathon like a month ago, and I called my dad in the car on the 2 hour drive. He lives up in Seattle, and he was like, "Where are you going?" And, "Oh, I'm in traffic. I'm going to San Diego." "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to run a half marathon." He's like, "A half marathon? How long is that?" I was like, 13 miles, Dad. We've been over it. He's probably got the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. So it's an interesting thing
Oh,
because I have to tell him again and again like how into running I am. He sometimes forgets, but he's like, "Oh,
oh,
I don't know why you'd ever want to do that. That just seems like a really far way to go." And I'm like, "It's not too bad." He's like, "Oh, it sounds like a lot of work." And I'm like, "Well, it's a little bit of work." And he's like, "What do they give you for it?" I'm like, "A banana and a
a
medal." And
banana.
he's like, "Oh." It was like it belonged on a t-shirt. It was like exactly what like non-runners would say. And I'm like, "Yep, I've had this conversation with my dad before." And it never ceases
Oh,
to be enjoyable for me. But I was a little bit like, yeah, I grew up raised to like make things as easy as possible. So it's very hard for either of my parents to understand like why someone would want to like run on purpose without being chased. And so, yeah,
yeah.
but that's just it. We all have very different interests. Like what would be fun for someone else, I don't know, would be as exciting for me. People do like Tough Mudders and like Spartans, and these things just look like hell. And yeah, I mean, they're going underneath like electrical wire and getting shocked. And I'm
Jumping
like, I
over
don't know, something about
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're very proud of themselves when they're done, and that I can relate to. And a lot of people show up to them, and so I'm like, well, there must be something I'm missing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting world, athletics and sports.
I know. I have a rule. I don't do the obstacles or mud. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
yeah.
But I'll do
I
bubbles.
never
I'll do
quite
anything
ever.
else.
Yeah, I'm probably more likely to do the iron or the triathlon that you suggested before. I'll do a Spartan or a Tough
Yeah.
Mudder, or maybe even a Ragnar. Although I think you've done Ragnars before. Me like riding around in the van, like with stinking and smelling. That's been another one that's gone down as a no for me. But maybe
Yeah.
you've had that experience.
I did it. It was a one
Yeah.
and done for me. It was a great
Okay.
experience,
Cool.
but I just don't
Yeah.
have a desire to do it again. So,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
and
I
done.
like that. Like at least you are saying no to the future with knowledge. Like you actually have
Yes.
experienced it for yourself, and then you can say, I know what it is. It's not like I'm not willing to try, and I've witnessed it, and then I'm making the decision after that, and it is a no. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
sounds like it was fun though, for the one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So what so I want to hear about like because you have a professional business and a book and all I want to hear about all of this.
Yeah. I spent 21 years in financial services. I started as a teller. I left as a COO. And I left because just what we've been talking about in my heart, when I really checked in with myself, I felt this great passion to share concepts and principles that I've learned that have changed my life. So people had been asking me for years to write a leadership book. And so my first book, The Seven Virtues, was a leadership book very much geared towards leading teams, leading others. It was a lot of stuff that came from my own models and frameworks that I used as I was rising the ranks in leadership throughout those years. I made a lot of mistakes when I was a new manager and new in leadership. And so all of those are in the book. It's like the here's what not to do, and then
Oh,
here's
I
what has
love
works better.
this.
Um,
What is it called?
yeah, that
Seven
came out of
seven what of leadership?
it's Seven Virtues of
Seven
Exceptional
virtues.
Leaders. And the virtues, it is an acronym. So it's a 7-step framework. Like V is for vision, I is for involve, R is for routines. And so it
I
walks
love
folks
it.
through 7 different kind of practices that if you want to be a great leader, you have to make these part of your week or your month. And they're things I'm really passionate about because as I went through my 21 years in financial services, I saw lots of bad leadership. And what I do, I believe and have come to see is that if a team is not performing and results are not there and people are disengaged, it pretty much is always the leadership. It's the leader's fault. Someone will say, "Let me tell you about this team," and I'm like, "I don't need to be told about it. It's leadership." If it's like, "Oh, we got the wrong people on the wrong seats on the bus," it's like that's still a leadership thing. They should have assessed their talent better and said their goodbyes to the ones that didn't have the ability to do those jobs. And so yeah, first book was all about
Wow.
leadership, and then I brought out a second book because as I kind of have shared some of the things I believe on the personal side, those were really important to me to share with the world too. So that book is kind of the sequel. It came out in 2024. It's called Six Habits. Same thing. It's an acronym. The letters all stand for something, and it's a 6-step framework to success, happiness, joy in our personal lives. Things like
Wow.
action and managing our brains and dealing with fear and not sabotaging ourselves. It was a lot of learning I went through. So I guess just to give you a kind of a spoiler like alert here, lots of childhood trauma in my own life, went through many years of therapy, spent some time dealing with it. I started to reprogram my brain and these things I learned as a kid that were really kind of bad habits. I untaught them, reparented myself, and learned new better ways. Now my
Wow.
relationships are a lot healthier, and I'm like, I just got to share all that with the world because I see a lot of
Yeah.
people going through stuff. So the two books are very different. One's really a business leadership book. The other one's kind of a self-help book. So
I
yeah,
love
those
that.
came out in
So
23 and 24.
so is this what you do now? Did you leave the your career from before?
I did. I left my corporate life. I actually just had lunch earlier today with my former boss, and it was really
Wow.
cool to hear how great they're doing at the credit union that I came from. But yeah, this is it. I became a private coach, and also a leadership consultant. And so half of my clients are sort of business, corporate, leadership minded. They're there to figure out how to get teams more successful and blow up, get great results. And then I have some clients that are really focused on the personal side. People kind of find this confusing that I serve both personal clients and then kind of corporations. A lot of the principles are the same, like practicing ownership and accountability and knowing that it always starts with us, and like, don't blame or be the victim. And like, we have choices in how we respond. We can't control what's happening to us, but we can always choose what we do about it. Those things apply for individuals, but also to organizations. And so it's funny how much overlap there is, even though my clients are very diverse. That like a lot of the conversations just center around the same kind of stuff, and it all comes up to what we're thinking, and where we start, like what paradigms we have. But yeah, this is what I've been doing now for about 3.5 years. It was very
I
scary to
love
start my own
that.
practice, but I
That's
haven't looked back. So
amazing.
yeah,
I didn't even realize
yeah,
that.
thank you.
I love business and pivoting and all of this stuff. So this is even like I knew you were the running was exciting, but this is like a icing
Yeah,
on the cake. This is
thank
awesome.
you.
And I just saw that you just started recording your book.
I did, yeah. The second book, there's been more demand for it to be on Audible. Maybe that's because not everyone's in leadership, but everyone is trying to figure out how to create more happiness and success in their personal lives. People just really had asked me, "Hey, is that book going to be on Audible?" And so, yeah, I brought out bound books. There's a Kindle version, paperback, hardback for both of my books. Never did Audible. It's the number one question I've been getting is when on Audible, and so I am now almost halfway through recording. This was a big moment because I'm not technologically savvy. So I'm using the software, I'm doing it myself. It is being read in my own voice. I did hire a producer to make it sound better. But yeah, I figured out how to use recording tools and software. And so
Yay!
I guess
That's
the lesson
growth.
here is that, like, it is growth. Yeah. It's like, don't let your fear of like, yikes, I don't know if I can figure that out, stop you from doing something that you really kind of want to do. Because now that I'm into it, this recording of the Audible book, I'm like, this is super easy. I could have done this from the start. I don't, why did I put this off so long? It's how
Yeah.
procrastination is with most things. Once you get into it, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have
Well,
waited. So
it's like
I
this
am in the process of doing
podcast.
Audible.
I think
Yeah,
I had
absolutely.
like a microphone in my Amazon cart for like I don't know, a year before I just
Yep.
bought one, and I don't even use it now because I've just realized how simple it can be, and it really doesn't have
Yeah.
to be anything fancy. Could I make it more complicated? Sure, but for me
Yeah.
it's about like getting it out there, even if it's imperfect, even
Love
if
that.
it's because you like if I was to say to get stuck on perfection, I wouldn't do anything. I really wouldn't. So you just have to do it.
This is such an important point you're making. I think so often we want it to be perfect and we're not quite sure we can get it to perfection. And so we don't do it at all. And it's like just doing something is always better than nothing. And progress is really the goal over perfection. And so many people talk about, like, I'd really like to have a podcast or write a book or start my own thing. But they're just so afraid of, like, what's it going to look like? And like, I don't know quite like how to solve all the things yet. And it's like, it's okay. Like you can start just wherever you're at, and people will expect you to make mistakes. And to your point, it's like you sat there and kind of had the thing in your cart for the year, and then once you finally got going, then it was like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah,
This is
it's
not so
fine.
bad at all, and it doesn't need to
Like
be any better
I
than what
would
it like.
love
I'm happy.
a soundproof booth with, the
Yeah.
beautiful mic and, all the curated
Oh,
stuff,
totally.
but
Yeah.
like that's not right now, so it's fine.
Yeah. I have been on several podcasts, and the conversation you and I are having right now is like the same exact conversation it's been with every other producer. And some of them have the pretty sound booth and the
Yeah,
mic. And it's like we just talk about the same stuff, and people probably hear it the same way. So it makes really no
exactly.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that at some point you just went for it and said it doesn't have to be right. I don't know if you know who Jenna Kutcher is, but she has this
Yes.
Gold Digger podcast. She always
Yeah.
talks about, like, she recorded her first episodes in her car in the garage because it was the only place, like, I don't know, that she felt like she could kind of just get away and like not be around like the stress of the day. Or maybe she was still working like a professional gig at that time. But
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, I started in my car, and I didn't really know what to talk about, but at some point I just hit record, and it just like became what it was organically. And yeah, I just think it's nice when people have these like humble beginnings, and they didn't need it to be perfect from the outset. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a great message. Just start
Mm,
wherever you're at
yeah,
with whatever it is.
exactly. Yeah, having the
So
courage to start. So what
I love it.
so what is like your goal now in terms of running?
Yeah, I have a few things going on. One goal that's been really fun is to run a half or a full in all 50 states, and I think I'm on 31 or 32. I've lost count.
Did you
I
run in
did Maine and New
Connecticut?
Hampshire. I haven't ran in Connecticut yet, and I don't know if you've
Yeah.
got one that you would recommend for me there. But I did do Maine and New Hampshire in May, Revel, New Hampshire, and then like the
Oh
Maine Coast Marathon.
yes.
And that was amazing. They were like, back-to-back races, and I felt like that's like always a fun challenge to run a couple days in a row. The reason I wanted to do the 50 states is like I just thought it'd be a really great way to see the country, and
For
it has
sure.
definitely proven to me that like we're living differently in different places, and I just like the diversity of our country and like the beauty that it offers. Like I never really had a reason to go to Maine, and then I went to like Acadia National Park, which is gorgeous, and
Oh
like
my God,
got to get to
yes.
Portland, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And so anyway, I don't know if I've ever even been to Connecticut. I might be forgetting something, but I Connecticut is coming up, and I look forward to it. And if you've got an idea
Oh, it's
for a race there, I would love to know what it is.
exciting.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I don't know, do you if you were coming to the East Coast, do you pair that with other states just to knock out like
New England, that has been kind of my hope. And so I've got Vermont left. I actually have not ran in Massachusetts, and I'm not fast enough yet or haven't fundraised to go to Boston. So I got Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut. I don't have New Jersey. So I
Rhode
was going to
Island?
try to
Do
figure
you have
out
Rhode Island?
Rhode Island. I don't have Rhode Island.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm kind
I'm
of
gonna
like,
think.
I do have New York and Pennsylvania, but yeah, I feel like a lot of that triangle up there is like open. So it'd be very fun to try to figure out a way to do a couple together. But
Yeah.
I always stay for a few days because I actually want to like soak in the environment and the landscape of like what I'm around. So yeah, it would be neat to find like two that kind of work together well, like the Maine and New Hampshire thing did this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I guess just to share something with you, I feel like we get to create our goals. People are always asking me, like, why don't you do a world major? Like, why don't you go to Boston or New York or try to get faster or get like a sub 4 marathon on the books? And I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't really interest me. The goal I created was more about quantity and like seeing the country and I would like to run more internationally. I've ran the Madrid Marathon and I've ran in Dublin and like international races are cool. And so I guess when we have like a sport or a hobby or a pursuit, like we get to create goals for that, and they don't have to be what other people's goals are. Because some people run the
Yeah.
50 states, but a lot more people are interested on like speed and pace, and kind of like I don't know, it just doesn't fascinate me. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is probably the biggest goal I have with running is to be in like different places and see different communities.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I love that you just said that because I literally just altered a goal for myself the other day
well,
based upon what I wanted. And it is the 50 states goal. And originally I had said to myself I want it to be a half marathon or above in the states. And I'm going for me and the kids are taking a cruise out of Baltimore in August.
awesome.
So I looked up races and there are no half marathons while we're like in the timing that we're there, but there's a park run. And
I love it.
I follow so many people in England and I'm always so jealous of their park runs. I've always wanted to do one. So it's a 5K park run and I'm like, "You know what? I'm counting it for
Heck
my
yeah,
state of Maryland. That's something that I want to do. It's fine. It's just a 5K. I'm going to do that because this is my effing journey." So like I have to constantly say I always say like the
yeah,
things that I say, I'm saying to other people just as much as I'm saying them to myself because why do I have to have it be a half marathon? Because I
yeah,
just randomly said that? No, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. So that's what
yeah.
I'm going to do.
I love it. It's like it's your journey, it's your choice. It's not like we have to meet some arbitrary standard. It
No.
doesn't matter what other people would think about it. I think that's really cool for you to say. I get to adjust it and shift it based on my needs, wants, and like, yeah, my decisions.
Yes.
So yeah, go you.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome,
And I
and I
mean,
love that you're going. Cruise out of Baltimore. That just sounds
I
amazing.
know. It's so fun. And I think that the reason I set that half marathon goal is because it makes sense. Like you don't want to travel somewhere. Like I don't you typically
Yeah,
travel for a 5K. So I think like, you know, if I'm traveling to Wyoming, I'll probably want it to be a half marathon. But being that I'm going
yeah,
to be in Baltimore, why not check that off because I'm there? You know, that's I
love it.
think where, you know, the mentality
Yeah,
comes from it. I love
I
this.
love it. That's
So um how do you like tell me about like your mindset while you're running? Do you ever struggle? What do you do when you struggle? Are you just like so good at what you're practicing, what you're preaching now?
I struggle all the time. I expect to struggle so that when it happens, it's not a surprise. I do have a belief, and this comes up probably in both books, but definitely in the second one of like, if you prepare to struggle and tell yourself it's going to get hard, then when it happens, you're not caught off guard by it. You can handle it better because then you can say, "Oh yeah, we knew that this was going to happen, and we were gonna." And this is true of anything. Like relationships get hard. There's moments that work projects and professional life gets hard, and so saying like I'm in that stretch or that period where it's like uncomfortable. I do cycle back to all of the research that's been done on our brains, and so a lot of research says that our subconscious mind tries really hard to protect us. It doesn't want us to feel pain. It's like we pull away to stop a hot stove. We look both ways before we cross the street. Our automated responses are housed in our subconscious brain. We get taught a lot of these things as kids. Like here's how to stay safe. And this is good. Like being alive is understandable. I see why people want to like not die. But oftentimes our subconscious brain will fire up kind of like prematurely and when it doesn't need to be, and it'll sabotage us. So a lot of the self-talk, if my subconscious mind kind of starts saying like, oh, this is getting hard, you're tired, you've done enough for the day, it's okay to take a walk break, which it is. It's perfectly fine to walk if we really want to, but sometimes my subconscious is telling me to do that when I don't really need to. I kind of will talk back to it and I'll remind myself, hey, this is the subconscious. You're trying to talk yourself out of being uncomfortable, but we can do hard things. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Like you have to actually recognize that it's happening and then be willing to coach yourself through it. I don't know if
Yes.
you've heard of the book The Ant and the Elephant.
No.
That's probably one of the best metaphors for this whole process. The book was written by Vince Pacente. But yeah, it's like the elephant is actually the subconscious brain. It's like very large, and the ant kind of like rides on it. But even as big as the elephant is, it can be overcome. It's not infallible. Like we can override it. And so sometimes when it gets hard, I'm like, nah, this is just your subconscious mind playing tricks on you. This is your subconscious not wanting you to hurt, or it's wanting you to like be okay. And this is the stuff that kind of like anytime we're going to go up for a promotion, but we don't know if we're going to get it, or anytime we're going to address a person of interest to us, but it's like, oh no, I may get rejected. Maybe I shouldn't go, try to strike up that conversation. Anytime we have to public speak and we're not used to it, this is what's talking to us when it's like you might look foolish, you might look dumb, maybe you better not. It's like it's imagining the pain that we're going to have if it doesn't go well. And
Yeah.
again, really powerful people, they learn to unprogram it and disarm it and say, actually, like it's okay for us to have a little pain. We can handle some rejection. We can handle some hurt. Let's keep going. And so I spend a lot of time in that dialogue when I'm running to answer your question.
Yeah.
It never quite goes away. It always is looking for that easy way out. Even though I've trained it to like withstand a lot, it still happens to me, and then I still have to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I know, and let me speak to it. So
Yeah. I
some
love that you say that because I feel like sometimes we don't think, and I think probably you get the same thing that I get. You know, you have really happy race pics, so do I. And I think sometimes people are like, you're so happy when you're running. And for the most part, I am. Like, I'm joyful
yeah,
to be there, to be in the experience. But there are times I'm like, those thoughts come in and you have to learn how to
yeah,
combat them. And I think self-coaching is so important, right? To get ourselves
love it.
in those moments that we don't we it's not that we don't have the original thought, it's that we don't allow it to take control,
I love that.
right? We have
Yeah,
to stop that.
yeah. Yeah, I think what you're pointing out is that it's not that like successful people that are achieving great things like don't have these pesky thoughts. They do. They probably have them at the same rate or even more than other people since they're achieving so much. It's like it's very common to have them, but they've learned how to talk to them, deal with them, override them. That's where the real strength and power is not that like they just don't exist, but in that like they're managed. And the first step is recognizing them. That's actually a really important step is to like observe and notice when it's happening to you. In general, I think when we just get angry quickly or irritated or frustrated quickly, that's also the subconscious. It's like, how dare that person cut ahead of you in
Yeah.
traffic? Like, who do they think they are? And
Yeah.
so it's, I think people that manage their mood really well, I'm getting a habit of saying, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Like, this is the subconscious wanting to be right. This is my ego talking to me. Like, how dare that friend show up late or cancel on me? It's we come from this place of sort of like self-absorption. Like, yeah, I shouldn't
Yeah.
have to struggle. It should never be hard. So this can like actually go on all day, not just when we're running. And I think you're right. It's really great people say, I notice it, I see it, I observe it. I have some power over here. I'm going to override it. I don't need to feel this way. There's another choice. We get to choose our feelings, even if it doesn't always seem that way.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's really cool what you're
Yes.
bringing up, like the power we have over ourselves. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
I
you,
wish more
so
people knew.
therapy was a big part of your journey.
Yeah, huge. And I grew up in a house that it was like there was a stigma around it. Like if you're seeing a therapist or going to psychology or counseling, like, oh, like there must be a real problem. And so I started going at the time of that breakup. It'll be 10 years next month. I initially started the process because I wanted to figure out how to get the guy back. And within about, 3
Oh
or
my
4
God,
months,
I
I had
love
done
that.
that. Yeah, it's the truth. It's a little embarrassing, but I was just like, yeah, how am I going to convince him to take me back? That was my only goal. And
And
yeah,
look
a
at your
few months
glow
in,
up.
yeah, I was like, and I think the beauty of it is it began when I was willing to like look inside of me and actually say, before you try to get anybody back, you got some work to do on yourself. And like the love that you're wanting him to give you, like you can give yourself. And like what's going on with you? And when I was willing to do that work, lo and behold, a year later, I wasn't as interested in getting the guy back. I was like, oh no, maybe I'm okay just being on my own. And then the right guy kind of appeared. But
Oh,
I thought I would get the guy back and then stop the therapy. 10 years later, I've never missed a session. I go every week. And I think it's an incredible process. I guess I'm just making a big plug for it now because it's like an unbiased person. It's not a friend or a family member that has a vested interest in your decisions. It's a professional that's just there to help you be great. And it's a place to go and talk and sometimes be held a little accountable or have someone, give you some tough love and say, hey, let me give you a reframe on that. Or, hey, maybe think about it this way. Or, hey, I'll give you
yes.
my honest opinion. Here's what I think you're doing. And then, sometimes you're like, I'm not doing that. No way. And then, a few hours later, you're like, well, maybe she's right. Or he, maybe my therapist is on to something. Like, do I do that? Like, I've had a lot of moments like that. And so I found it to be really valuable. And so I still go today because it's a way to kind of keep me in check and, anything that's caused me a little stress or anxiety that week, I get to bring those things up and then talk through how I'm responding to them and talk through the moments of discomfort. Sometimes I'm still it's not like you'd make a decision to reprogram something and then you never have issues with it again. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, like I still have this old tendency calling me back to, handle it this way. And I know that's not right anymore, but part of me kind of wants to. And so it's nice to have someone there to support you and keep you moving into the direction that you've decided is right. So I'm just become
Yeah.
a big believer. I'll probably see a therapist for the rest of my life. I don't know that the work will ever be done, I guess.
Yeah, no,
So yeah, I
it's
really
not.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
love
the
that. Good
people would
for
be very
you.
surprised that don't go to therapy. I think they'd be shocked at like how valuable and useful it can be to like really get to know themselves that way. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. And I think you have to find that right fit for yourself so that you do have that
Yes.
space that you can make the progress. And also, and I do think sometimes people enter therapy in the wrong state as well, where they're not quite ready for it.
Yes.
And I think
Totally.
it's it's so hard because like when it comes to eating vegetables, I feel, you have to eat, what do you have to eat something 17 times for your taste buds to actually know if you like it or not. I feel like therapy is the
Huh.
same way. You may need to go
Yeah.
to different people. You may need to try at different times
Yeah.
in your life. It's almost like a triathlon for me is a one and done, but therapy and eating vegetables, you got to keep trying.
Totally. Yeah, I hate to say it, but and I guess I shouldn't say there's bad therapists out there,
There
but I do
are.
think that like a fit in a match is important. And then there's probably ones that aren't quite as qualified or yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's people that are not as talented or polished or as exceptional in probably all businesses and all industries
Sure.
like
Yeah.
and so finding the person that you're going to say, "Wow, this person is awesome and they're the right fit for me and they really know what they're doing," or at least it feels that way to me. Sometimes it's like experimentation and like a dating pool almost. And
Yes.
I do think people make the error if like they don't have a great experience with the first person, they don't want to go on to number
Yeah.
two. They're like, yeah, this didn't work. It wasn't for me. And it's like, well, we don't really know yet. It's just maybe that person wasn't a fit. But I do think there's someone out there for everyone. And yeah, I have a friend who was recently just telling me it's taken me 6 times or 6 goes at it. And on therapist number 6, I found the one for me. Like this one I like. And now I've seen her several times and like, wow, it is amazing how when you get the right one, the work just starts happening. And
Yes.
but she hung in for 5 people that she just didn't feel
Yeah.
like were really assisting her or helping her. And then on number 6, I mean, I was really impressed with her because I was like, wow, you really like stuck through and you really believed in this
That's
process
commitment.
and thought something good was coming and you were committed to it, even though you weren't having success. I think a lot of people would give up way before 5 or 6. And so I was
Yeah.
like really glad that she didn't, because I do think it's extremely valuable. And if
Yeah.
someone doesn't get a lucky on the first time, I think they're like, ah, never mind, that's not for me. But yeah, 17 times it might take up to. So yeah, I
Your
hope people
taste
stay
buds.
with it.
I've never made that comparison before, but I think I'm gonna use that all the time now.
Yeah, it might take you 17 therapists to like, find the right one. I got really lucky. I found her as like my first
Oh,
someone referred me to
good.
her, had great success and right away I felt like it was an open, honest, safe, secure space to just be myself and but someone that was going to hold me a little accountable and be tough on me and not just agree with everything I said. But she also was very much like supportive of where I was at. I didn't ever feel ashamed. And I think when she had saw me shaming myself or feeling guilt, then she would gently kind of nudge me of like, stop that. Like don't choose to feel shame. Like you didn't know any better. You didn't have these tools or resources. So it felt like a really nice
Yes.
mix of like love, but also like some accountability. And so
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
that's
got
the
very
one you're
lucky.
still with?
Yeah, it's been a 10-year history with her. And yeah, I
Wow.
kind of joke I'll be with her till she retires or dumps me. But then I'll probably find someone else because I really believe in the process. So
Yeah.
yeah, 10 years with the
She
same
must be
therapist.
so proud of you. That must be so cool to have seen that whole journey.
Yeah, she read both the books, and it was neat getting her feedback because a lot of the concepts we had really talked about in therapy and got developed were in the books. And it was so nice to have a therapist that bought the books, gave me feedback, like wanted to write a review for the books, either on Amazon or just like, for my
Oh,
website. And it was really neat for her. She tells me regularly, like, wow, you've really come a long way. And actually, when I'm having a bad day and I'm like beating myself up for something, she's great at saying, like, do you have any idea how proud your
yeah.
10-year ago self would be of you now? Like, do you know how
Yeah.
much farther along you are? Like, yeah, you're kind of having a momentary pothole here, and that place is still way above where you were when I met you. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably true. Good reminder. I think
Yeah.
we can all use reminders like that sometimes. So
For
yeah, it's like
sure.
you may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you once were. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the message I get from her. So yeah, thank you for saying that. She has told me, and so it's lovely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for
Yeah, I don't
you.
know if it's a good ask, but what about you? Are you a believer in therapy? Do you have
Yeah.
people
I'm a
you
therapist.
yeah, and so a lot of therapists seem to have therapists. So like,
I
is
do.
that true for you? Like you have someone that
Yeah.
consults with you? Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's great.
I have had therapists that have had such big impacts on my life. I had one in my early 20s, like total game changer, totally opened my eyes to
So
adoption
cool.
trauma that I didn't even know that you could have adoption trauma when you're adopted as an infant, but like that blew my mind. And then I had one in
Amazing.
my later adulthood that like really helped my marriage and us so much. Like just amazing
Oh,
people that they just get you, and they also challenge you, you
Yeah.
know. I'm
Yes.
sort of finding new I'm in the midst of finding a new one now. I worked with somebody for a couple sessions and then had a brand new session like a week ago. So I'm still finding my new one, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
there's
love
always
the
something that you can get from someone, even if it's not screw perfection, right? Like maybe it's not
yeah.
the magical fit yet, but there's something that you can gain from it and some insights that you can get. So I'm sort of just like taking it and growing with it if I can.
I love that. I like two things you said. I like that you said they get you, but they challenge you. Like those are really good words. Like it's nice to be understood and feel
Yes.
seen, but then to be challenged. Like I think that's you just sort of took some concepts I was saying, like you worded it much better. So I thought that was great. And then I love that you talked about adoption trauma and said I didn't even know that was a thing. It just seems like therapists can be really good at helping us articulate something that we sort of
Yes.
loosely feel, but we didn't know it was a thing. I've learned a lot about narcissistic abuse and like
Yes.
narcissism and a lot about personality disorders. And I've seen a lot of those afflictions in my life and growing up, but I never had a name for it. And then once I had names for some of these PDs or sort of mental disorders, if I can say that, maybe conditions is a better way of putting it, then it was really easy to like put people's behavior through like the lens of that or whatever you might read about in like a DSM and say, oh my gosh, that's why all of these things have taken place. It had nothing to do with me. It's not just like,
Yes.
this person's a jerk. It's like they're probably suffering from something. This is probably a pretty good match for a diagnosis. And so it really helps you like get over things or forgive, or like go back into the past and like let something go and move forward from it in a way that like you weren't able to do before. And it's just very
No.
healing. And so I think that's really cool to say like, oh, I didn't even know that like that was a term. And then now I can like it resonates. It's nice to
Yeah.
like then have words and like language to talk about it. And
Yeah.
that my therapist has helped me with that big time because there was a lot that went on in childhood and I never had any way to describe it. And now it's much more clear and I have the language. So yeah,
Yes.
I can have conversations
It's
about it with people, which is
wild,
great.
right? Like and
Yeah.
you sometimes need that fit of their knowledge. Like if I hadn't
Yeah.
worked with her, I don't know that I would have ever learned that. And so and
Yeah.
which is weird because I am a therapist, but I'm not trained in adoption. I don't know
Yeah.
anything. So like
Love it.
and it's wild because I was literally
Yeah.
told my whole life like you're adopted, you're grateful, you're adopted, you're grateful, you're adopted, you're grateful, and this whole
Yeah.
big missing piece was actually a thing, like who would have known.
Yeah.
So like
Who
I
knows?
wonder
Yeah. Go
how
figure.
many people are out there walking around with these wounds that can be healed
Yeah.
with just being seen or being heard or having knowledge that what they experienced is hard and traumatic and they can work through it.
Yeah. 100. It's so interesting and it's really amazing that you have found that support. And yeah, I think you're right. Some people have like niches or pockets of knowledge that are really useful. And yeah, lots of people suffer from ADHD or people are maybe mild autism spectrum stuff. And there's always
Yes.
someone out there that's like really like intended for you. I guess there's therapists out there that really specialize in attachment theory. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but
Yes.
there's like avoidantly attached, anxiously attached, and it's like therapists. I've seen a lot of that lately where they're doing work with couples that literally have that kind of dynamic. And I'm like, it's just so amazing that like now you can't just like now it's like you don't just find a therapist, you find a
Yes.
therapist that's like perfectly suited for what your own struggles
Yeah.
are. I guess the difference is that sometimes you don't know what your struggles are. And so it's nice when you can find like a generalist to get you started and then you find someone that like really can dig in on your
Yeah.
individual
Well,
things.
you
And I've
must have
come
the
so
same
far as a
experience with your coaching business because I know for me
yeah,
at like I don't even know what I have in my bio as a therapist. I should look. It's been a little while since I've updated it, but like two times this week people have said I wanted you because you do mindset therapy. And I was like,
I love
"Oh, okay."
that.
So and because they're reaching out to me because of that, niche or, interest that I have, they're more suited to work with me. Like I don't like to work with the
Yeah.
people who don't, get up and go for a walk when they're feeling down. Like I'm like, you
Yeah.
gotta go move your body. You gotta go move. I work much better with people who understand the emphasis or importance of moving your body on your mental health.
Yeah.
So like and I'm sure you attract the people that are perfect for you, that are in leadership positions, not somebody who's never led.
Yeah, I will say that the clients I best I have this belief, by the way, that we're most well suited to serve the person we once were. So
Yes.
it's true that when it comes to like personal or business clients, it's somebody that's like wanting to make a change and wanting to be highly successful and is looking to have an exceptional, extraordinary life. And so they're already successful in a lot of ways and kind of on their way. I noticed that if people are like too far back or they haven't felt that fire underbelly or that desire yet, sometimes it's like it's hard for me to help them or reach them because there's somebody that needs to come before me to get them to some starting point where I
Yeah.
can then take over. But yeah, it is someone that's driven and ambitious and has already had some success and is saying like, how do I really get this to the next level? And then I
Yeah.
think professionally, there's a lot of different views on leadership, but the person that is saying like, I believe that it is often a leadership problem, and I want to know, like I'm having these struggles at work, or we're not getting the results we want, but I'm not just trying to figure out how to blame it on others or my team. Like, do we have the right reward and recognition system set up, and like, do we have communication systems in place or performance management tools in place? And they're very open to going through everything and taking accountability and saying, yeah, we're not doing that, and we need to start, and like we are willing to go invest the time or the dollars. That's who I work best
Yes.
with. If people are too resistant, sometimes I've had to say, I just don't know if I can help you right now, or I don't know that I'm a fit. And that's kind of hard to have that conversation. But you're right. There's yeah, I mean this is true in our personal lives. I think we do better when there's like shared vision or shared values and
A
shared
hundred
goals. And
percent.
yeah, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely that's cool that these people had found you for mindset therapy in particular. I think that's a great
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Oh my gosh, this was awesome. I didn't even know it was going to take this mental health turn. I love talking with you. This was so amazing. I'm so grateful
Me
that you could
too.
come on and share your time. And I am going to freaking find a race for you.
I love it.
Like, because
Yeah.
there's so many states that are so, close by, like either
Yeah.
Connecticut and Rhode Island or Connecticut and Massachusetts. I bet you could find one
Yeah.
that's like that.
Here in Southern California, it is a hard place to get to, and the states are so close together in the New England area. So it is like an idea of mine of like, let me do two at a time, kind of, if I can, up in that part of the country. Because, yeah, it's a long trip to go again and again and
It
again.
is. Yeah, it
So,
is.
yeah, I look forward to seeing you there someday. It seems like a really, really beautiful place in the fall, like with the season
Oh, it
change and
is.
yeah, I just I feel like New England's known for that, like the
Did you grow
oranges and the
up in
yellow.
California?
I grew up in Buffalo, New York, so not really New
Oh,
England, but very adjacent to that part of the country. And
yeah.
so, yeah, when I looked at colleges, I looked in like the Boston area, and I looked at Dartmouth and Brown, and all stuff in New England states. Family vacations sometimes we're in like New York City, and so yeah, I guess I got a taste of like the season change in fall and all that. And yeah, I've been in California a long time now, but yeah, still my roots are up northeast.
I love
So
that.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
So what's your next
This
race?
has been lovely. Ooh, probably tomorrow, here in Long Beach, which is it's really amazing. There's three local race companies that just put on races every weekend, either right where I live. I mean, this one's walking distance from me. It's like right down the beach path that just starts there. They're small. They're like 300 person events, maybe 400 people events, but they're here in Long Beach. They're in Santa Monica. It's like the farthest drive away is 30 minutes.
That's
So I do feel really
perfect.
grateful. And if anyone's a runner, ready to like vomit on me right now because they're like, okay, wow, that's great you have that. Like I live in the Midwest or someplace where they don't have that. I have some friends in the Midwest that were like, yeah, I can go to a race once a month. And like if I want to go to a run club, it's a 45-minute drive. And so I know how fortunate I am. But yeah, I'll probably run a 10K tomorrow. The next big race that I think I'm really excited about that's like worth mentioning is Rock and Roll has brought back a Mexico City race. I think the last time they did it was 2019, and so here it is 6 years later, and they're bringing the event back. It's in December, and then registration just recently went up on their site. And I'm like, oh, I loved running in Mexico City, even though it's high altitude. So I think I'll register for that. It's December, so it's a ways away.
That's
But if you
fun
got any
though.
runners listening to this, like I think that race is going to be epic, and Mexico City is a really cool city. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm very,
that's
very excited to
awesome.
get signed up for that. Yeah, I was excited to
Yeah.
see that. I thought that was a major win. So yeah,
So
yeah. What
cool.
about
Well,
you? Your next race?
I have I'm going to run with friends at the Queen City Half Marathon in Michigan.
Oh, cool.
Not
Love it.
not tomorrow, the next weekend, next Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Very
That'll be
cool.
my
Yeah.
11th state.
Oh, awesome. You are on your way, 22% after next weekend. That's
Yeah.
almost a fourth. I think that's pretty committed. So
That's
that's really
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been your favorite so far?
Oh, I mean, Boston's always my favorite. Boston,
Yeah, okay.
that's just the best. Just the best.
I
I
don't know
love
if
all the big
you remember
ones.
this, but yeah. Yeah, the big ones are good. I don't know if you remember this. You ran next to a woman I knew. Her name is Marlissa Matea, and she's now running all the majors. And you guys started within, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes of each other, and I think
No
finished
way.
within 10 or 15 minutes of each other the year you ran Boston. I don't remember if I told you, but I told her. Or maybe I showed both of you like how close you were to each other because I was tracking you that day and her as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. Did you run Boston? Was it 2 years ago
It
or 1 year ago?
2023.
Okay, yeah. So 2 years ago. That's right. That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah, she's
Oh,
gone and
so
done.
cool.
She got back to New York, and now she's going to go to her first international one. She got into Tokyo, or she's fundraising for
Oh, me
Tokyo.
too.
So
I'm
I mean,
going
yeah,
to Tokyo too.
yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I should maybe I'll send you kind of a screenshot of who she is,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know if you'd there'd be a way for you to meet her, but I think you guys are similar pace and whatnot,
So
and you're
cool.
very close to each other. There were parts where I was tracking you. I'm like they could probably almost see each other. Like they're right on pace. Like their chip timers were going off for a little while there, like within seconds, a minute at most
So
of each other. And I thought that was really
funny.
neat. So, yeah, so I should get you guys acquainted with each other.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. How
Yeah,
many world
send me your
majors have you?
deets.
I will. I will. Have you done a lot of
Awesome.
the majors?
Yeah, I've done London was my fourth.
Okay.
So so
18. Cool.
Tokyo will be five and then Berlin will be six. I don't it just
Yeah.
like took a life of its own. I took on a life of its own. I did not um sort of realize, but then like my friend, who has breast cancer, she's like, doing them before, because she doesn't know the future of her health. And I'm like, you know what? Your life is short. I'm gonna travel all around
Yeah.
and do these, like
Yeah. I love it. I think it takes that, like, sometimes to see someone that's maybe not like as well situated and
yeah.
has a real challenge like cancer, and to see how well they're managing the response to that, and they're positive or they're motivated or they're like still like crushing it and they're still like showing up in like an inspired way. And to say, wow, okay, like if someone can be dealing with something as scary as cancer, I can probably like seize the day and
Yeah.
like go out and
Well,
accomplish things too. So I'm
and to
sorry to
me
hear about your
it's
friends.
it's the travel aspect too, because I
Yeah.
think it's so easy to be like, I'll travel when? I'll do that in a couple
Yes.
years. And I know for me, I had never traveled internationally, so to go to London because I had a reason to, I never would do that just because. So
Love it.
I think that's
So
the
cool.
most meaningful to me, is the excuse to just take a chance on yourself. As a mom,
I
I
love
don't,
it. I love how you
it's
worded
so
that.
quick to not do that, so I think that's been
Yeah.
the exciting part about this for me, is the time for me, the travel for me.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
because,
I
like,
love
as a
that.
family with, I have three kids, I can't afford to take everybody to Europe.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. So why not just take myself, have the experience, run my race, inspire my kids, and then, do my thing.
Yeah. I think it's a really great message to moms is that like that doesn't have to be the only thing that they're known for is being a great mom. It's like
Yeah.
you can have something for yourself as well. I do think a lot of people say, no, I can't. My situation's different, but I do believe where there's a will, there's a way. And a lot of mothers have proven that like you can make it work. And so I just think that's really great that you're not feeling. I think sometimes people worry about being like considered selfish.
Yeah,
It's like, well, that would be selfish. Like, and the truth is
it
like when we take
is.
care of
Yeah,
ourselves, we're
it
better
is.
suited to take care of others. And we also
Yeah.
set great examples for kids in saying like we can have some things, more than one thing. And so I just think that's really cool that you're like, I have something for myself. And yeah, I just like that. That like there's
Thank
like I'm
you.
taking care of yourself. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a great conversation from having seen you online and lots of positive, motivating, inspiring messages. I love following you and
Yeah, I
yeah, then
love
interacting with
following
you
you
daily.
too. You're
There's a
like a
lot of
ray of
surprises.
running sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, good. I try to be, and so it's nice to know that the intention is what is
It
felt and seen.
absolutely is. I love it
Yes.
so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much for coming on and for your time. And I hope you have the best weekend. And please keep me posted on
Thank
everything.
you.
I will
I
put
will. Thank you.
your Instagram in the show notes so everybody can follow
Great.
along. And
Cool.
yeah, and I'm going to buy the book. I didn't even know there was a book, so I can't wait to read the book. Or maybe I'll wait for
Yeah.
Audible. How long will it take for Audible?
I think I'll be done recording by the end of August. And then I don't know how
Probably
long
a
my
couple
producer will
months.
take. Yeah, I think by end of September, Audible will be done. Maybe if Greg, my producer, was here, he'd be like raising an eyebrow at me, but I'd be shocked if we weren't, done within 2.5 months. He's doing great work. And if anyone ever wants a Audible book, I have found an amazing person to do it, and he's looking for other clients, but he's outstanding. So
Awesome. Oh,
I have that.
good.
In case you or your listeners want, on my website, it's
Oh,
amymchambers.com.
yeah, I'm going to put
If you
that
go to
on
buy
there
a
too.
book and you check out, great. Virtues 10 takes 10% off the Virtues book, and then Habits 10 takes 10% off the Habits book. So if
Oh,
anyone wants a
cool.
discount on the books, those codes, they'll just take it out right at the cart. And I ship books every couple of days. So they'll come right around into a mailbox. And it's obviously safe and secure, but if someone wants to buy the books on the site, those are the discount codes that'll work. So yeah,
Awesome.
just share.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on all of that. And I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
listen and read.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Oh my
Well,
gosh,
we'll
thank
be
you
in
so much.
touch. Thank you so much.
I love it. Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Bye. What an amazing episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you to Amy for coming, sharing your time, sharing your heart. I can't wait to read your book. And thank you for everyone for listening and being here and supporting this podcast. Love you so much. Please don't forget, take a screenshot, share it in your Instagram stories, tag me, send it to a friend. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you soon.